just nice to be able to relax.
I wouldn't know. I've got loads of ironing to do.
Well, more fool you ironing baby clothes. They're not in the public eye now.
It's not about them being in the public eye. I want them to look nice.
I never ironed a thing of yours. No point.
What's that meant to mean?
Well, clothes hang better on some folk than others. It's a fact of life. No, I'm the same. I could be dressed head to toe in Versace and I'd still look like a bundle of washing.
Great, so you're saying I look like a bundle of washing?
All I'm saying is, don't sit still too long in the laundrette.
Thanks. Thanks for that.
So what time are the kids back?
Dunno, not for a while. Ches has took them to the park. They've got this sculpture thing. He says they're never too young to learn.
Well, that was always my philosophy.
When did you ever take us to see sculptures?
We went to the art gallery all the time. I used to have all the milk and condiments away from the tea room. Same at the museum. Not only were you a very cultured child, you were never short of ketchup either. Then one day, some snotty-nosed volunteer behind the counter stopped us, ordered me to empty the contents of my handbag. The only thing I emptied were 2 sachets of brown sauce down her blouse. I told her, hang that on your wall, lady.
Billy's here.
All right.
I've been better. Have you seen Paul?
No? Why, is it urgent?
Well, he's not answering his phone. He went off in a bit of a state. Yeah, he said he wanted to be on his own. I shouldn't really let him go.
What's happened? Lover's tiff?
Sort of. It wasn't really like that.
So, what was it then?
What are you doing?
Chemistry, like you care.
I thought you might be looking at the property pages. If you want me to come and visit, you'll have to get a place with a pool.
Yeah, well, as soon as I'm 16, I'm out of here. And if I don't see Dad, I really don't care.
Cold-blooded.
He's brought it on himself.
He's not perfect, but it wasn't easy. Losing Mum, bringing us up on his own.
Mary looked after us more than he ever did.
He had a business to run.
Stop making excuses for him.
I'm just trying to be fair. Anything we've really wanted, we've pretty much had.
Yeah, well, I just want to be treated like an adult.
You'll always be his little girl. The thought of you going out with anyone was bound to give him sleepless nights. Never mind someone who'd record a half-naked video that'd end up on the internet. I don't blame Dad for freaking out.
Yeah, you wouldn't, because you can do what you like.
Only because he doesn't care about me as much.
Are you for real? He used to take you all over the country to play golf. I barely saw him.
And then once he realised I wasn't the next Rory McIlroy, he lost interest. But he loves me in his own way, same as he loves you.
Yeah, well, he's got a funny way of showing it.
I just want to know he's safe. I could tell he was upset.
I just want time to clear his head, that's all.
What have the cops said then? Were it an accident or what?
And then let on.
Well, it could well have been. If Kel saw the inside of a bath, I doubt it was for swimming lessons.
Ma'am!
I'm just saying it as it is. Accident or otherwise, good riddance to bad rubbish, I say.
My dad, he's doing my head in. It's like he doesn't take us seriously and he thinks I'm 7. I'm sick of it. It's like I try to make him understand how I feel, but he always knows better. He knows nothing. About Corey, about me, how I feel. Just wish that my mum was here. She'd understand.
I know that feeling. Every time me and my dad used to fall out over something, I used to imagine how different it'd be if my mum was there. I knew she'd see it from my point of view. Trouble is when she lives in here, she can do no wrong because she's never had any hard choices to make.
What?
She'll always be idealised in my memory. The same way as your mum is in yours. She'll always be right. There's no way my dad could have competed with that. No more than Dev can. And once I realised that, things were a lot better. He became the most important person in my life.
Really?
I'm sure Dev just wants the best for you. You'd rather he was overprotective than not care at all, surely.
Being honest. No.
All I'm saying is just try and give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, well, it's too late. As soon as I can, I'm leaving home.
Seriously, Asha, I think long and hard about trashing your relationship with your dad over a boy. Dev's most likely going to be in your life a lot longer than Cora.
Yeah, well, he's done the trashing, not me. He won't listen.
Then make him listen. Sit him down and talk to him like the adult you want him to see you for.
Yeah, well, I've tried that.
Have you? Really? No screaming, no shouting or slamming, regardless of provocation. Give it a try. You might be surprised how you get on.
Blimey, that's not a happy face. Emoji-wise, we're talking the scream, I reckon.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let me guess, you talk to your insurers.
Mm-hmm.
Like nailing jelly to a wall trying to pin them down, am I right?
Yep. Well, I explained everything to them. I said, you know, how dangerous it is, got kids, etc. Made no difference. They said until a structural engineer's been out, they can't promise when that'll be, or even if they'll pay up after he's been.
I had a similar problem with subsidence at one of my hotels. Paid out a fortune in insurance premiums, never saw a brass farthing. So what are you gonna do? You sort out somewhere to stay. You can't take the kids back there, can you?
No, I know, so I was wondering if I could stay at the...
Oh, you don't have to ask, mate. I'll let the hotel know you'll all be staying for the foreseeable.
Cheers, mate. Honestly, I appreciate that. I mean, I don't know what we...
Fine. It's not like we're turning punters away, is it?
Yeah.
If you need anything else, just ask.
Oh, well, you might regret that. Cheers.
Here, hold on. You look like a man who could use a beer.
No, I've got stuff to do.
Who hasn't? My in tray hasn't got a bottom. At least not one I've seen in the last year, anyway. But I've learnt you get a lot more done if you take a breather every now and again. Come on, get it down your neck.
Are you gonna get lost or what?
Warming up the old diplomatic skills, I like it.
Oh, just do one.
With pleasure. I don't want to get caught in the crossfire.
All right.
Yeah. I think, what's going on?
I was just saying hello.
Exactly.
I thought it would be good if we had a talk about things.
Funnily enough, I was thinking the same thing.
Great.
Yeah. I've been doing some projections.
Projections.
Because if you're moving out in a few months, we need to prepare, do some proper costings. I've laid it all out on these spreadsheets. Sit.
Sorry to have kept you waiting.
That's okay. So how did it go?
We've had to up Oliver's sedation again.
I don't understand.
I'm afraid while we were preparing to extubate, he began seizing again.
I see. So when do we try again?
It's clear, without sedation, Oliver would be suffering constant, massive seizures.
Well, there's nothing you can do to stop them.
We've tried every combination of drugs we can. The seizures are beyond our control.
So we just have to wait for the seizures to stop naturally?
That won't happen. Consequently, we can't bring Oliver out of sedation.
But if you don't bring him round, then you can't remove the tubes. You said, and he won't be able to breathe on his own.
I'm afraid not. Life support's the only thing keeping your son alive. I know this must be a terrible shock, but it can be difficult to predict the rate of progress for this particular type of mitochondrial disease. Some patients deteriorate more quickly than others.
Where are you going?
Oliver's on his phone.
Hey, how'd it go? I'm sure it's not as bad as you think.
Karen's made up her mind.
Well, we tried. I guess some things just aren't meant to be.
Yeah, you might be right. She seemed pretty emphatic.
What did she say?
Well, I think her exact words were, "We need more caring, committed people like you putting yourselves forward. I think you'll make wonderful foster parents."
You... What do we do next?
So she's going to write her report and send it to the panel and make the strongest possible recommendation for approval.
Oh, this is fantastic.
But we mustn't get carried away, though. It's not a done deal, but it does look really good.
You must have played it blind.
I was just honest, like you said. I can't believe it. Hey, Leanne. Hey, what's the matter? Okay, calm down.
You will go on to bring colour and joy to everyone who sees you, and you will light up whichever room you go on to adore.
Must be that new conditioner I'm using.
I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. I like to bed our flowers in, if you excuse the pun. You know, it must be very traumatic, being torn from your nursery. 1 minute, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, and the next, tossed into a transit van, bound for the cacophony of the market, your fate in the hands of strangers.
Well, I'd love to say I've got time for this, but things to do, you know.
Like getting drunk. That won't answer anything.
What am I supposed to do then? Have a chat with a bunch of daffs? Don't know what you're going on about.
I know a good deal more than you think. That you're only a survivor as long as you survive. And that it's always a work in progress.
I think you've stuck your beak in long enough for one day.
Oh, barely got started. You think I don't know what it is to be unhappy? To live my life under the shadow of something I can't change? Anger, alcohol, drugs, oh, they're the easy answers, but they're not the right ones.
Look, there are no right answers. Not for me.
Doesn't mean you have to embrace the wrong ones. Like turning your back on people who care for you.
What, like you? I mean, you went down the cop shop for a bit of excitement, a cheap thrill.
I went to support Billy. You know, he agonised over what to do about this. He was desperate to tell you about Kel.
He lied to me.
Only by admission. He was trying to protect you.
I can look after myself.
Now, I'm guessing that you and Corey don't have the 10% deposit to get onto a property ladder, so you will be, what? Renting? Okay. So full-time A-levels are out the window, and uni's a non-starter due to tuition fees. And so working on the assumption that you'd be working, what, part-time or doing an apprenticeship, and since neither of you have any marketable skills, I'm so sorry. Corey doesn't, does he?
I don't know.
Well, let's just play it pretty safe and say not. So you'll both be on a 16 to 17-year-old minimum wage. And on that money, I guess the best-case scenario is something like the flat above the corner shop, yes? And I've used that as the basis of your income versus outgoings.
Outgoings?
Yeah. Rent, water, electricity, gas, council tax, food, TV license, etc. It's all set out down there. Was something wrong? No, I mean, of course I haven't included any of the extraordinary expenses like clothes, you know, trainers. Just wasn't the scope. And I'm sorry, but I can only stretch to £3.50 a week for entertainment. But you'll have each other. And I guess that's all that counts.
You think I'm stupid? I know you're just trying to scare me.
Well, you know, I think it is just a little bit scary when you fly in the nest. But all I'm doing here is trying to add some flesh to the bone. So you can see the reality of building a home.
No, the reality is that you'll never treat me like an adult.
No, but I'm sorry, darling, that is exactly what I'm doing. Trying to show you what this big, wide world looks like in pounds and pence.
Yeah, because you're skinned. Corey's parents admitted.
Yeah.
They've actually made a success of themselves and not wasted their lives in a shabby little corner shop. They'll set us up somewhere nice.
That's right, is it? So shall we see? You want me to call him up right now to discuss this?
If you do, ever, I promise I'll never speak to you again.
I mean, I don't believe it. It all happened so fast.
Yeah, well, it's not over yet. Not by a long chalk. Alice might have chucked the towel in, but not me.
Maybe she's run out of options.
There's always options. She just can't be bothered to find him. All she's concerned about is freeing up her bed.
Okay, look, maybe this isn't the best place to discuss this.
All right, so shall we go in there then and condemn him to his death where he can hear every word we say?
No, but the doctor reckoned not
She
to.
thinks he's as good as dead. Well, I know my son and I know he's in there. We were packing for Cornwall a few days ago. He's beaten the odds before and he'll beat him again.
Look, maybe it might be best to approach this in a less confrontational manner.
Less confrontational? Oh, well, excuse me for being confrontational while they try and kill my son.
Yeah.
I need some air.
I mean, I don't even know why I get up in the morning sometimes. Day after Barney died, I should have just stayed in bed because it's been downhill ever since.
Who's Barney?
He's an old friend. Probably went down that hole in the lawn.
What, your mate?
Yeah, he's buried there.
In the garden?
Oh, I love that rabbit.
A rabbit? You had me going there for a minute. Yeah, let's have another. Drink to the little fella, wherever he may be.
No, I can't, mate. I can't afford it anyway.
Who said out about paying? Don't look a gift horse in the gob. Imagine you're a bit strapped right now.
Don't. Every single day I waste sorting all this stuff out. It's another day I'm not earning. You know, the garden's gonna cost me an arm and a leg, so if the insurers don't cough up, I've had it.
Not necessarily. I might have a proposition for you.
Isn't that the same thing you said to Michelle?
No, that's what she heard. I'm not what people think I am, you know. No, I've got a mate in the property game. I could put in a word for you. See if she can't take your house off your hands.
What, an house that might be falling down?
Well, she wouldn't pay the full market value, but I'd make sure she didn't rip you off. Roxy owes me a favour.
Hold on. Hold on, what's going on here?
What do you mean? Two mates having a beer.
Yeah, well, last time I checked, Ray, I don't remember seeing you in any of my wedding photos. Now suddenly it's free beers, free hotels, and you're trying to convince your mate to buy a house that's sliding down a hole. What's really going on here?
There you are. Been worried sick,
You've been pestering your boss.
if you must know.
A waste of time. He's not there.
No. It's a matter of faith, I guess. Think of it as hedging our bets. Because if that is Kel's body, we're going to need all the help we can get. I know it won't be easy for you.
What won't?
Dealing with it. It's bound to bring up all sorts of conflicting, complicated emotions.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Vicar, but it's not complicated in the slightest. I hope it is Kel. I hope he is dead.
You don't mean that.
Well, forgiveness might be your shtick, but it ain't mine. You know, the day they bury that evil scumbag, I'll be at the back of the churchyard putting on my dancing shoes.
I should have known better than to try and pull the wool over your eyes.
Just got to be a bit sharper to catch me out, pal, that's all. But why are you trying to butter us up? I don't believe it's just about my house.
No. No, it's not. Thanks to Michelle's vendetta, I'm like something folk have scraped off their shoe round here. Set Bethany off and, well, that ended badly for everyone. I'm hoping that by doing you a favour, you and some of the locals might revise your opinion of me and start walking through the door again.
So hold on. You're doing this because your business has taken a hit, is that it?
Yeah, and long before coronavirus. At least that I can understand. All I did was pay Michelle Connor a couple of compliments.
So, you're going to convince your mate to buy my dodgy house just so that you shift a few more lasagnas? No, I'm not so sure.
Have you any idea what it's like for an entire community to hate you? When you've done nothing wrong? I'm sick of it. I just want it to end. Let me help you, to help myself, please. Like I say, Roxy owes me, so I'll push her to get you a good price. Which means you ought to bite my hand off.
You might be right. But I'll think about it. Cheers for the beer.
Oh, hi. Where's Leanne?
In there with Nick.
Enjoy the walk?
When I was round the car park, it was hardly the Alps. We've cleared our heads and we've come up with a strategy.
A strategy? Steve, I thought the doctors said there was no hope for Oliver. There's nothing more that can be done for Oliver.
The doctor's here, yeah. But we can get other doctors, can't we? Experts.
Dr. Howarth is an expert. What are these other doctors going to tell you that she hasn't?
Have you not heard of a second opinion?
You've had a second opinion from Dr. Howard's colleagues.
Well, then I'll get a third and a fourth and a fifth and 1,000 until they can find somebody who's going to fix my son.
The science is going to be the same wherever you go. The doctor's here.
The doctors have written him off because he's not their flesh and blood, is he? They haven't got that bond, because if they had, then they would do everything in their power to find a way to help him. They'd find a way.
I understand how you feel.
So why are we arguing then?
Because we've searched every corner of the internet for answers. And there is no miracle cure. You know, God knows I wish there was.
Well, not yet, maybe. But we have to keep him alive until he can be helped. So it means we search harder. We go wherever we need to go. We spend whatever we need to spend. Because I'm not giving up on him, Nick. I'll never give up on my son, never.
If you've been affected by Oliver's story, you can visit itv.com/advice for support information. Next, starring David Tennant, Daniel Mays and Jason Watkins, brand new true crime drama Des starts next.